So come on in, take a sip, and let's wind down. It's Saturday, and thus my favorite day of the week for the crossword. I get so excited about that. And today we're having a La Crianza 2021. This is a 2021 Crianza. This is a Rioja from Spain. I'm very excited about this one. I love the simplicity of the artwork, the label. I mean, as an artist, I love this kind of stuff. I love it when I see a fantastic label, and it seems that it's very rare that the label doesn't live up to the quality of the wine in the bottle. It just seems rare, though it has happened. And then I'm like, oh, what an outrage. What a travesty, But no, this one feels great already. I'm already getting it on the nose from this distance. It is just that beautiful Spanish sun-kissed cassis that you would be coming to expect. But we have a lot of melon in this one, some undertones of melon, right? And it's really amazing otherwise. Lots of florals. Botanicals are amazing on this one. Let's go ahead and try it on the palate. This is a little on the tannic side, but not to the point that it would forbid a menu. You could pretty much do anything you'd like with this one. It is, the nose is telling me this is a sweet, palate's telling me that it's dry, but what you get in between is something very harmonious and beautiful. And I gotta tell you, this is a keeper, and it just so happens we bought 4 bottles of this, so might have some left at the end of the evening. I just don't know. But what a delightful wine. Living here in Europe, I have easier access due to EU agreements. It's just kind of free. You just kind of cross borders. It's all just cool. It's a lot like traveling in the States. And because of that, you can go to any grocery store, which is the primary outlet for buying wine in Germany, is a grocery store. You just go into any grocery store, and there they all are, right? Along with your liquors and liqueurs and everything else that you could possibly imagine. It's there. And it's because of the proximity, because of the agreements, I have so much more access to things like Italian wines of all varieties, and Spanish wines, Portuguese wines, Czech wines, It's you name it, it's there. Wines from Croatia, right? Wines from Serbia. It's just beautiful. They're everywhere, and it's a wonderful thing. And if it's Sunday and everything's closed, you can get the same wines at most train stations, so that's actually kind of nice. So the dictionary.com word of the day is a banshee. I thought we'd go ahead and use this one today because it wasn't quite tycoon or whatever the one before that was. Just a big gleam, I think. But I do like the idea of this wailing spirit in Irish folklore that makes you kind of think, folklore. There's a joke in there somewhere for somebody. Probably not me. The idea behind it, though, is that, like if you heard the banshees wailing, then, someone in your family was doomed, you know what I mean? What a horrible thing. But at the same time, how very, very interesting, and also something that could easily wind up in a grid at some point. So thought, this one's pretty relevant. Why not? It's a Saturday. I had no excuse for my tongue tied, twisted, just an earthbound misfit eye kind of thing going on, with apologies, of course, to David Gilmour. Now, immediately following the solve today, we will be going in to answering some questions. I had mentioned yesterday that I did a series called Entropy as an artist, and it started out as painting, and then it became sculptures. But the overall thing was really cool. We'll go over the sculptures at another time and how those grew into of its own thing. But we'll be doing this after the solve today. So if art does not interest you, then that's just cool. But we don't want to take up any time on that for our regular grid solving mindset focused only, right? So absolutely, I get it 100%. So let's go ahead and hop into our grid here today. I think tomorrow we'll be doing, the solve from one of the restaurants, cafes, wine bars in the area here. One of the owners is very interested in us doing that, but we're going to have to reserve a table and get it just right. We can't have kids in the shot, and so it's going to be a little bit challenging there, but I'm looking forward to getting out. I love it when we solve and we're out in public and people all around the world can see, here it is, right here in the heart of Northern Bavaria, right? So that said, we have an Alex Jiang construction here, edited by Will Shorts for Saturday, September 13th. And it says down here under the headline for wordplay, the crossword column, that the title is Completely at Ease, and that Alex Jiang makes a sparkling times puzzle debut. So that's really fun. I'm excited about that. I love it when we get new constructors. Keeps us young. What a good wine. Let's hop into grid. See what we got today. So the students' plan. Okay, well, no point in guessing just yet, huh? Hollow of a sort. Italian pianist who composed the scores for No Bad Land and The Father. And I know this, or at least I will know this as soon as I get some letters. I'm pretty certain that I'm familiar with this composer. Sort of habitat in a bottle garden. Okay. Gumbo ingredients. Can't fit shrimp in there. Can't fit crawdads. Let me go with ingredients. How about okra? And get us something else to play here. Contests. Vise or Suze. Hollow of a sort. If that's vise, which I think it's probably going to be, make this probably an alcove. So let's put vise in and see if we can make heads or tails. If not, we'll delete it and start all over again. The 21,728th page of 1989's 20-volume Oxford English Dictionary. Well, gosh, yeah, those books right there, those two big, ginormous tomes. I'm trying to figure out how to use my fingers. Those two right there. That's the OED. My mutti bought those for me. And it came with a really cool magnifying glass. So I don't know. If I had to guess, I'm going to say end. They are pretty big, and you do have to have a loop, which I've always got one of these, my trusty Omega loop, that I can take a look at things up close if I need to. But yes, we do have microscopes and all kinds of stuff around here. We can see it. We can see. We are gadgeted out. But actor Kieran of Succession, and that's Kieran Culkin. He really is a good actor, too. Sort of habitat in a bottle garden. And I think this would be a closed, found darling. How about adored? Well, I think this is closed, like it's maybe a closed ecosystem or something. I don't know. South Asian crepes would be dosas. If you're interested, I have a fabulous recipe for keto dosas that are really good. One of my friends who I met on the channel here, he introduced me to the concept of dosas, right? You know, and that was great. And then I went to the Headbangers Kitchen, which is one of my favorite keto channels on YouTube. And he showed me how to make them. Oh, it was just perfect. So, yeah. Thank you, Krishna. Appreciate those dosas. They're really good. Students' plan. Probably an academic 7-letter. I'm going to go with program and immediately start checking because I don't know. Pink flowered tree. Well, it could rhyme with dosas. Let's go with mimosa. Also a favorite Sunday libation. We might have to have some of those tomorrow. I'd have to find some zero sugar orange drink to come up with something on that. California's Año Nuevo. Feliz Años Nuevos. What are we doing here? I gotta get that straight. DNA compound whose name includes the letters DNA. Okay. Vegetable also called a Swedish turnip. And this would be a rutabaga. I don't know if it's a T or D. Honestly, I don't think I've ever really spelled it. So much of Jupiter is a gas. Jet black stone. And when I pierced my ears in, oh gosh. My mother first pierced my ear when my left ear in 3rd grade. Then I pierced the other ear in like 8th grade and 9th grade. But I used to love the little black onyx studs with a sterling silver loop. They looked pretty cool. I liked it anyway. But I was an artist. Let's check our work. Top could be an apex. Okay, makes sense now. I'm feeling better about the academic program, to say the least. Stops lying, say. I don't know, rises? Let's see. Contents of Pandora's box. Basketball Hall of Famer Baylor, and I think that's Elgin. Rest his soul. One of the greatest basketball players of all times. And so I think we've got evils here. Evil. Why not? You and me both. How about people? That's clever. This is a clever grid, Alex Jiang. I'm loving this. The solution referred to in Sherlock Holmes' 7% solution was cocaine. Bad way to make a group decision. Oh, yes. How about alone? That is no bueno. Who you would be in France? Okay, I guess we're shooting for vous. If I didn't have anything, I would have put être. To be. So, I just would have. Glad we had this. We had to go with the formal too, instead of the two. Got it. Fine. Stray. Oh, how about a rogue? Well, we got a clever one today. Something A-OK. Nice. Rolled chip brand from Mexico. And you know what? I never had one of these. Probably won't, since I don't eat this. And this is Ludovico Einaudi. I remember now what made me think I had to memorize the name. Much of a comet, typically ice, except for that one that's heading to us right now. Just kind of want to know more about that thing. Prefix with point, probably midpoint. So yeah, we have a closed ecosystem. Did I say ecosystem? I don't remember. I'll have to watch it, see if I did. What are ahead of their times? Eves, of course. And so, all right. No, the thing about Ludovico Einaudi is that I like how this is an Audi in German. I just think that's really cool. That's how I remembered the name. So, let's see, some baseball stats. Runs batted in. Batman is to Bruce as Wonder Woman is to Diana. Amazonian princess, I believe. Though I referred to her always as Linda Carter. And wow, I don't know who I liked more as a child. Linda Carter, Lonnie Anderson, or what was her name? Colonel Wilma. Colonel Wilma. It was Wilma, I can't remember. But yeah, she was on Buck Rogers. And I can't remember her name for the life of me either. But oh, wow, yeah. Deering. Colonel Wilma Deering. Dealing with Captain Buck Rogers. And she's a colonel, and he kind of gets his way because of his high karate, whatever. I mean, if you've ever watched those things, I was excited to get the DVD box set, and then oh, it was bad. Watermelon detritus. Well, I think we're probably talking about rinds here, but I'm telling you, we got some melon in this lawn, and this is wonderful. Well, let's check our rinds. Great volumes, like about 4% of the citizens of Kansas. Wow, your guess is as good as mine. Home to the Abbey Aldrich Rockefeller Sculpture Garden in Brief, and I can tell you right now, without having ever been there, it'd be the MoMA. MX-5 and CX-50 maker. Let's see, Mazda here. Out of it could be Dazed. Place for driving. Home on the range. And adenine. Okay, very cool. Now we've made sense of that. Instant what? Ramen? Is it really in an instant? I don't know. Great volumes could be tomes, and again, just thinking about these things back here behind me, very tome-ish. I love them. I just love them. So rounded in a way, how about domed? And so like about 4% of the citizens of Kansas. Topekans, maybe? Origin of the Tale of Genji, considered by many to be the world's first novel. I think that's Japan. Let's try it. So we can put Topeka in here. Topeka. Is that like clipping coupons? Salsas, as an example. How about dances? Tilt. Hey, I think we got a joust here. Tilting at windmills. Come on, Don Quixote. Let's see what you got, man from La Mancha. Speaking of Spanish wine. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. How about A1? Maybe. Yours in Tours. Well, I guess we could say à toi. À toi? Why not? Pourquoi non? I just thought of an old saying. Mes contraments meilleurs, les dents sont rares. Yeah, something along those lines, you would say, il faut reculer pour mieux sortir. See, it's kind of like, looking before you leap, right? It's kind of how I feel about that. Chemistry class unit. Oh boy, I don't know. A mill, a mole, I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Pooped. Oh, I hate that word. I just hate how it sounds. If I had a talk show, I would have to use the bad word. It needed to bleep me out. I'm not going to say that. I mean, I can't believe I just said it, but I just said it because it tricked me. I didn't know it was going to be in there, so. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I mean, it's like it's going to be tuckered out. If we want to just gamble the tuckered out part, well, why not? Seems like it could be a thing. Let's see what we got. Esobesto. Oh, that kiss. Unprocessed could be raw. Yeah, we should be staying away from those processed foods. I agree. We should eat it all raw, including the steak. Tartare. Love steak tartare. So, yeah. Whose business is just around the block? I have no idea. Beer alternative to... Okay, we're getting in circles with that one. Let's just see. Blank test, home inspection component. This would probably be the radon test. Mountain West Campus City. I think we're talking about Reno. My beloved TCU was in the Mountain West for years, but they've been in the Big 12 now for a long time. So, got a game tomorrow against Abilene Christian. You know, they did pretty good work with the, against North Carolina, but now I guess we're going to play one of those puff me up games before they have to face off with SMU next, right? So I don't know if they're getting another bye week or not, but really Sunday mornings around here, because I stay up and watch college football. Okay. No acting up. How about be cool or be good? I don't know. I think we got a B in here, though. Jazz form could be bop. And so the beer alternatives, I guess this could be a porter. And when I was drinking beer, I did like a tatty porter. And I guess a lager. Like paper napkins, one use, unless you were my Oma. Keep that sucker in her purse for a while. No acting up, be good. Please. For the love of God. Okay, so I'm thinking this is Lego. Business is just around the block. And completely at ease. So I'm thinking maybe as loose as a goose. And how loose are geese? And I really don't know. I mean, duh. Well, it's no wonder. Try it. I don't really know. We got our mole here, so that's good. Former Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull. I've always thought that's one of the coolest names. I mean, just a cool Turnbull. Lord Turnbull. Just call me Lord Christopher. Yeah, Turnbull. It's one of those good names. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be a Trunchbull. Yeah, just ask Matilda. But otherwise, what's the alternative? I have no idea. Province in the names of many Chinese restaurants, probably the Hunan. And reminds me of a certain Charlie and a son of anarchy. An anarchistic son. Octet on a chessboard. Yes, that's true. The ranks. Those in the ranks. And what's the alternative? I don't know. Maybe how else? Petunia's partner in cartoons would be Porky. And botanical bristles. Wow, bristles, botanical. These are uns. And I always called them seed beards. They look like little beards. It's kind of fun. So I'm putting my how else here. Network. I'm not sure. Let's see. Soft yellow fruit would be a pawpaw, so maybe a web. And plum tuckered out. And man, I really hope I didn't fat finger something, because this has been a fun grid. So, I don't know. How do we do, Bob? Well, very nice. I got to tell you, sorry, my phone is just going bananas over here. First of all, what a brilliant grid. Ludovico Einaudi, the closed ecosystem, great. Plum tuckered out. I loved this for supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I remember getting that wrong in some sort of B I did back in the day, like somewhere in elementary school. It's the longest word or something like that, and I said it was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and that's not a real word. It was anti-disestablishmentarianism or something. I can't remember what the actual word was at the time, but clearly we've got longer ones now. And if you want to get into some long words, check out German vocabulary. That's a mind-blowing thing. Good Lord. I mean, you see the memes where they're talking about German Scrabble, and it's, they have entire, war boards out and stuff, of course you can see that. But, A1 was fabulous. Love seeing Wonder Woman in here. That was really good. I didn't even remember how to spell rutabaga, and honestly, I don't remember ever spelling it before in my life. I might just be remembering that from like seeing it at the grocery store. But all together, what a fabulous grid. This is just so well done. So fantastic, Alex Jiang. We'll go ahead and bring down our bannière d'adieu, and all but temporarily. For those of you who are not all that interested in an artist's perspective, then thank you so much for watching to this point. I appreciate you being here, and if you could hit the like button, that would be awesome. But I want to use this opportunity to go through some of the imagery that I have, and so I can kind of talk through it. Okay, so let's talk artwork. Let's talk about the journey to entropy, and we're gonna start here with Flamingo. Flamingo is it's just good stuff, right? You know, it began as just me looking at a bird, probably at the zoo or something. I have no idea, but I remember that being thinking, it was a very graceful thing, and I really liked it. And I started to imagine myself in the shadow of this bird, or that bird in the shadow of me, and thinking about how everything is interconnected in such a way it's just crazy. Like thinking that I might share 96% of my DNA with a common house plant. And then I start thinking about the astronauts that go up and they stay in orbit. They're in LEO, they're working in the International Space Station, whatever the case may be, and they're up there for a number of months or weeks or whatever. And they come home and they suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's real because they spent all that time up there watching the Earth spin 15 times a day, right? You know, just moving at this incredible speed, you know, and it was mind-blowing thinking that they come home, and they always come home with a very inclusivity kind of thing, right? Everybody should be included. I mean, you're looking at the planet spinning, you realize it doesn't matter who's Jewish or, you know, who's, you know, whatever. I mean, it makes no difference, right? You know, oh yeah, no, we're Irish, or no, we're German, you know, no, we're Japanese. It makes no, well, from up there, they just kind of see the Earth as what it is. It's like this rock with a bunch of people on it that all bleed the same color. And so I started imagining that. And so if you look here, and I'm not so sure that you can see my mouse, but in fact, I'm pretty sure you can't. But the idea is that if you look beyond the flamingo and into the water, you'll see my profile. It's sort of you'll see my chin right at the top of my head, and my chin down below from before the beak and the bend in the neck of the flamingo, and you'll kind of see that's me. So I kind of saw that. Then I got a commission to do a piece here, and this is pas de deux. It's like the dance for two in a way, and it was this was a commission piece that I had done, but it was slowly becoming a little less impressionistic and a little bit more abstract, because now I'm just looking at textures and I'm looking at how that works. And the whole time I'm thinking about how you can't unscramble an egg, right? You know, and so moved to Germany, moved to an art hotel in Ida Oberstein in southwest Germany in the Nahe Valley, and I found this tile outside in the trash. Somebody was having their apartment or their home remodeled, and this came out, and it was just the perfect scenario for something to act as a canvas. So I gessoed it, started working with it, and that slowly became this piece here. It was a piece just kind of on the colors. You could see that I was working with something, the same colors on a separate canvas, right, who were very straight lined and very, very, very symmetric. Everything was on line. We went from that piece to this piece, and then slowly but surely started really focusing on how to work on these symmetrics, and it started lining itself out. And I cleaned these up, and next thing you know, before I was able to really move them and work with them a great deal, I wound up getting several variations, same colors, but what if you mixed them up, right? But if you could still maintain the same borders. And so everything was still framed within the canvas, but it was definitely entropy. But that's where it took its other turns, right? Where the same colors then became tertiaries, right? And then fourth and fifth turn orders, and working with various textures. And then the idea hit me one day that there are things on this planet that just don't come across as being all that beautiful. In fact, can somewhat be scary. I started thinking about vanity being virtue in a way, right? And how something needs to be beautiful in order to be loved. It's very difficult. And people have been playing this for years. I mean, The Elephant Man. I mean, you could just thousands. There was a movie in the early 80s called Mask, with Eric Stoltz, and it's the same type of process. But I started looking at spiders. Spiders kind of became that thing, kind of just really embodied the whole idea of entropy in a way, in that they exist in such a manner that's so opposite from such the single focused mindsets that we all can get into. Like they don't belong, like it's scrambled instead of a whole egg. Like it doesn't fit there because it's rather atrocious looking. It's scary looking, right? But is it really all that scary? So I started playing with those textures. I liked what I saw with that on the canvas as I was building them out. And so slowly but surely came up with these things that were basically quadrupeds. I mean, there was no other way to put it. Just these four-legged beasties. And they were very interesting. And again, they didn't fit into the normal order. And this is, of course, you can see this is me working on it. This is just building up to the final piece. But you can see I was very, very focused on texture, dimensionality. I like that. I wanted to bring that to the table. I wanted to bring a three-dimensional aspect to what I was doing. And I was trying to find the message, which was that don't hate me because I'm ugly. Don't hurt me because I look scary. I'm actually beautiful and I can do amazing things. And of course, we don't really have quadrupeds like this. It's not like we've got these things running around, but it kind of represents the arachnid world, right? Or the things that we call creepy crawlies. And it slowly started to take form. And finally, we come to where they hang now here in our gallery. And the writing around this piece, it was all stenciled, right? But it's essentially saying, tut mir nicht weh. I mean, just, you don't have to hurt me. Ich bin hübsch. I am beautiful. I'm pretty. Please don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Please be nice to me. I'm actually beautiful. Like it's this plea, right? And so I have a lot of people tell me that the one here on the right looks a lot like some sort of a squid or octopus, and I get that. An cephalopod, sure, but the idea is that it's just not something that you necessarily want to have hanging out with you for dinner. And then I started collecting German willow and coconuts, and created the same sculpture series from that, based on the idea. And these are some pretty big critters. And they're pretty cool when you're walking around them and you're checking them out, right? They're creepy, especially when you get up in the middle of the night and you're walking through your studio and it's like, oh, you forget that they're there, kind of a thing. It can be pretty crazy. But in all, I made about 13 of these. I've got one left, and about to do a secondary follow-up series on these, because I may be showing them at a gallery here in Bavaria shortly at one of the bigger cities. And if that comes out, I'll let everybody know. Maybe we'll do a solve there as well. So, but anyway, these are some magnificent creatures. I absolutely love them to death, but of course I did. I mean, I am their maker after all. So there it is. So there you have it. This was the journey that was spawned by a swan, right, or a flamingo that turned into spiders, right, all on on the glide path of entropy. And I loved the messaging, and I loved how that all kind of worked out. And so there you have it. So that's Christopher is the artist. I've been one my entire life. I don't think that'll ever go away. If it does, that would be tragic. It means I'd lost my muse. And since my muse is in the other room right now, we don't want that to happen. So thank you all so very much for sticking around to the very end. I really do appreciate that very much. And I look forward to hearing from you in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Always. Doesn't have to be good. Doesn't have to be bad. Just honest. That's all I'd appreciate it. So, until we see you again, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Servus. Grüß Gott. Ciao. Cin-Cin. Be well out there. And remember, it's great when you're nice to strangers. It's even better when you remember that those people with those thick foreign accents are actually courageous individuals. Souls with the heart of a lion. Because it takes guts to go and live and work in a new land. Cheers. Be well. We'll see you tomorrow for the Sunday Grid. Take care.